Welcome to the second review of the evening. Up this time, Ion Shift. Ion Shift delivers fast, high stakes gameplay with precision controls and unique sandbox style approach to combat arenas. In this hardcore 2D platforming game, players take control of an alien creature navigating a vast and menacing spaceship. The objective is simple: survive against all odds. This ship is crawling with hostile soldiers, deadly turrets, and laser drones that are constantly on the lookout. Right, so this game was assigned to Petty for review, so over to him for the details. And we had the Nintendo Switch version. This
Yep.
is important later on. We'll get to that when we get to that. But first, Petty, how's the game?
Honestly, when I was playing this, I feel like I've played this somewhere before, like on Newgrounds. But since the death of Flash, I can't find the game I was thinking this is either based off of or what.
I can tell you what game this reminds me of. Carrion, of which we did a review of.
Yeah, I can see that, but like there's more of like, and that might also be part of what I was thinking of, but there was definitely like an older Flash style game I was thinking of.
Very possible, but yeah, once again, if your memory circuits aren't clicking here, that is an impossible task.
Right. So in this prologue thing, you see how you're in a person. If this happens again, I don't know, because your real form is an alien. Your entire job is to zip around and kill everybody here. I'm not given any real context for this.
Well, I mean, you're an off-brand face hugger. What more motivation do you need?
I mean, fair. And yeah, everything dies in one hit, even you. And this is honestly basically a stealth game for all intensive purposes. Like, yes, you have to kill everything in the room, but you can't let them see you. You can crawl around on the walls freely. Don't hit the spinny blades of death. And every like time the purple light comes on, you've reached a new checkpoint. Sometimes your hitbox is weird, as you can see right there, where I just detached and it just kind of killed me. Sometimes you can pick up the enemy's weapons and throw them as either a distraction or to kill an enemy that you cannot get physical access to. You're able to look around if you want. The enemies don't shoot you immediately. Like, it does take them a half second to realize you're there, so you have a chance to either kill them or break line of sight. And here we have turrets. As you can kind of see, if I stay there too long and that vision cone goes all the way to orange, it will begin to open fire. If you throw something at a turret, it will automatically cause it to open fire. So you can use that to kill enemies. Oh, right, there are these things. The robot dudes. You can kind of get into them and utilize them. But, like, I was never able to like get into anything and like have a conversation with another enemy. Oh, fuck.
But they're good for like security evasion because
Yeah,
they register as friendly.
right. And then like you also can like grab the knife and that is something I don't like about this. When I'm trying to go around vents, it doesn't. Sometimes the controls freak out when you're changing planes. And then, like, I threw a knife through the fan wall and killed the dude on the other side. And I think this next one, yeah, throw a knife at turret, which will make the turret immediately engage and kill our little friend up there. So, et voila. And then you just kind of get the generic find your way out. You can use the smoke screen or the fire extinguisher looking thing is a smoke screen. You have a bunch of different options for, getting your way out. These guards can look up. I know it is rare for video games, the whole, the guard can't look up, but these ones can. And then yeah, once you destroy all the enemies, you make it through the level, and you're on to the next. There are several levels. I think there was 18, at least in this version of the game. I don't know how heavy the story gets. I got through like the first 3 and didn't really have much plot like we did there at the beginning. So I don't know if it's like every like 4 or 5 levels you start to see plot, or if all the plot is just there at the beginning and then you're just kind of free to play the game. The music is very techno. You can pretty much tell the music from the what genre of game this is. They mentioned the like sandbox in the little intro blurb thing, and like I'm not sure how much sandbox you can really get with a 2D stealth game. But that's just me. So I guess there was a brief bit you wanted to mention, Adam.
Yes. So we have a situation on our hands here in regards to platform splits. Now, we've mentioned that games that have different publishers on different platforms often have price differentials. That's not really the case here. Like I think this is about the same. Yeah, this is about the same on both the Switch and the PC. So, yeah, like $5.90, $6, $6. Like different sale prices right now. Which, okay, 20% versus 30%, but that's not what we want to talk about here. What I want to bring up is this is actually the first instance that I can think of where we have DLC released on one platform but not another.
Mm-hmm.
because so just a couple of days ago, at time of recording, the Steam version of Ion Shift had something called the VR missions drop. And worth also noting, this isn't a free update. This isn't free DLC. This is a paid DLC pack. So I'm not. It's its own independent thing, and it is currently missing on the Nintendo Switch. I'm not exactly sure what's the background noise on all that, but the basic bottom line once again at time of recording is the Steam version has an extra content pack that you can pay $2 for, and you will get 8 expert challenge missions. Not a huge chunk of content, but it's a significant amount of content.
And we don't know if this is something that could be coming later.
Right. I've looked through our PR materials that accompany the game, and I find no mention of VR missions, no mention of timing on VR missions. So we don't know the story here. And if it is in the works, we don't know if it when it's coming. Like there are no details about this thing. So not a deal breaker, but I automatically recommend the Steam version over this, simply because it has stuff that you cannot get in the other, should you desire it.
Well, and honestly, these controls feel like they want to be on a mouse anyway.
Right, but I'm just saying, like, in terms of weighing everything against each other, I give the nod to the Steam version for that alone. But,
Right.
it sounds like there are additional things worth getting the Steam version over the Switch version. Like, once again, it's not it's not like a day one patch to improve like the controls or sharpen up the graphics, fix bugs, anything that fundamental. It's a optional content pack.
Mm-hmm.
Now you could argue philosophically this should have been in the base game, yada yada yada. Same old DLC arguments that we've been having for about 20 years now.
God, I hate that that's a thing.
Well, I mean, the horse on the run.
Yeah, it did.
So here we are. I'm just surprised it took this long to get this situation on our program.
Well, specifically on the program, like this has happened before where we've had DLC come out before another platform. But usually by the time we get the games for review, it's been resolved normally amicably.
Right. Like, sometimes there's an irregular drop or, platform timing.
Sometimes there's issues with QA.
Yeah. But yeah, here there's a big question mark over these VR missions right now. Maybe our contact who gave us this game will answer the question answered here if they actually listen to the review. I have no idea if they do that or not. Like, oftentimes it's just thank you for doing this and no further commentary.
And like if you can like specifically poke them, and we can always add it to the video description if it has a set date or whatever.
That's probably the more useful thing here, to ask about the VR missions when I send this off to him in a few days.
Right.
So,
because like for anyone who's interested, that is good to know, especially because it is on multiple platforms.
Yeah.
If the VR missions are coming, and if so, if there's a date.
Right. Anyway, the final thoughts.
The game is all right. It's not my personal cup of tea, but there is probably like definitely a class of or a group of like retro fans who would find this interesting. Anything
Okay.
else?
No, I think that covers it. Unless Galax has something to add.
No, I think I'm good.
I
All right.
I also almost forgot to mention, be careful looking at select a level if you have a saved game, because it will break your save and you'll have to start over. I don't know if that's a bug or a feature.
Hmm.
But yeah, just something to keep in mind. But yeah, I think that's everything else I can think of.
All right, then. So that'll about do it for Ion Shift here. Be sure to tune in after the break as the Galax reviews Death Kid.